Hello, 大家好, I'm Grace. In Chinese, 如果 and 要是 are two common words that can express if. But what exactly are the differences between them? Today, let's talk about them so you will know how to choose between them to sound more natural in Chinese. Oh, and if you want a handout for this video and some practice exercises, you can join my Patreon membership. You will get access to that and lots of other study resources. And you will also be supporting me to keep making more content. Alright, 话不多说，我们现在开始吧。Both 如果 and 要是 can be used to introduce a condition or situation that may or may not come true. For example, 如果明天你很忙，我就下次再去找你。如果明天你很忙，我就下次再去找你。Or 要是明天你很忙，我就下次再去找你。要是明天你很忙，我就下次再去找你。If you're busy tomorrow, I will just come see you another time. Here we use 如果 and 要是to propose a hypothetical situation. 明天你很忙. You're busy tomorrow. And then talk about a result based on this hypothetical situation. By the way, just a side note, the standard pronunciation of this word is 要是in Taiwanese Mandarin and 要是in Mandarin from China. One thing to keep in mind is that in Chinese, the if clause usually comes first, and then we talk about the result or pose a question or comment based on the hypothetical situation. In English, the if clause can often be placed at the end, but in Chinese, it's not as common. Alright, now let's talk about the difference between these two words. Generally speaking, 如果 is more commonly used both in speaking and writing, whereas 要是 sounds more casual, so it's mainly used in informal speaking. You can often hear it in daily conversations. Although 如果 is more common, this doesn't mean that 要是 is less important than 如果. There are still some contexts where 要是 is more suitable than 如果, because they also have subtle differences in the feeling or mood that is expressed. Compared to 如果, 要是 sounds more emotional and personal, and 如果 is more neutral and sounds more objective. Because of this difference, when expressing personal hopes or desires in daily speech, we often use 要是. Let's see some examples.
要是曼桢能嫁给他，那就太好了。
要是曼桢能嫁给他，那就太好了。要是曼桢能嫁给他，那就太好了。If 曼桢 could marry him, that would be wonderful. Another example.
要是我能为这个未来而死，那该有多好。
要是我能为这个未来而死，那该有多好。要是我能为这个未来而死，那该有多好。If I could die for this future, how wonderful that would be. Here's a common pattern to express a wish that probably won't be fulfilled. 要是就好了。要是就好了。It means if only or I wish. For example, 要是我有更多时间就好了。要是我有更多时间就好了。If only I had more time. Another example. 要是我早点跟你说就好了。要是我早点跟你说就好了。I wish I had told you earlier. 要是 is also often used when threatening or warning others. Here are some examples.
你要是不答应我，我就拉你一起跳湖。
哇！
你要是不答应我，我就拉你一起跳湖。你要是不答应我，我就拉你一起跳湖。If you don't say yes, I'm dragging you into the lake with me. Here, the man is threatening the woman to say yes, and he uses 要是 here because it makes his attitude sound more strong and firm. Another example.
我要是被抓了，你也得倒霉，对吧？
我要是被抓了，你也得倒霉。我要是被抓了，你也得倒霉。If I get caught, you're screwed too. Here, the speaker is warning the other person not to let him get caught. And using 要是 can convey a stronger attitude compared to 如果. Unlike 要是, 如果 sounds more neutral and objective, so it's suitable to use in most scenarios and settings. For example, you can use 如果 to make a polite suggestion.
如果有心事可以告诉我啊。
如果有心事可以告诉我啊。如果有心事可以告诉我啊。If you have something on your mind, you can tell me. Another example.
下次如果没有办，可以找我啊。
下次如果你没有舞伴，可以找我啊。下次如果你没有舞伴，可以找我啊。Next time, if you don't have a dance partner, you can come to me. Here are some other examples using 如果。
如果有机会，我会面对面的跟你道歉。
如果有机会，我会面对面的跟你道歉。如果有机会，我会面对面的跟你道歉。If I get a chance, I will apologize you in person.
如果你想听，我会毫无保留地跟你讲我的故事。
如果你想听，我会毫无保留地跟你讲我的故事。如果你想听，我会毫无保留地跟你讲我的故事。If you want to hear it, I will tell you my story without holding anything back. Alright, so the main difference between 如果 and 要是 is that 如果 is more commonly used in general. You can use it both in speaking and writing. However, 要是 sounds more casual, so it's mainly used in speaking. It also sounds more emotional and personal, so we often use it when expressing personal wishes or when we want to sound firmer in our attitude, such as in situations involving threats or warnings. Just know that in spoken Chinese, these two are usually interchangeable. It's not that one is correct and the other is wrong. They just convey slightly different attitudes or levels of formality. Okay, that's it for today. I haven't made a teaching video in quite a while. Thank you so much for your patience. Just a quick reminder, if you want to get the handout for this video and do some practice exercises, you can join my Patreon membership. It's also a great way to support me in making more content for you. If you like today's content, you might also enjoy this video where I explain the difference between 但是 and 可是. Also, if there are any other words you have been wondering about their difference, feel free to leave a comment and let me know. It might turn into a future video. Okay, last but not least, if you want to learn some daily Mandarin expressions, be sure to check out my Instagram, Grace Mandarin. 那我们下次见咯，拜拜。